in, honey. Don't run off now, sweet pea. Stay close to Daddy.
Perfect. An ordinary man.
I see some identification, sir.
Excuse me?
ID. We see some.
Chosen by chance.
Come with us, sir.
I'd like to know what's going on first.
Cause a ruckus, sir. Not with a little girl now.
Ma'am,
Come with me.
Listen. Ma'am, I'll take my daughter.
Driven by fear.
Pay attention. You listening, Mr. Watson?
Yes.
This is for you. In it, there's a picture of a woman and an itinerary. You will take this, and you will kill a woman whose picture's in there.
I will do no such thing.
Yes, you will, Mr. Watson. It's now 12:16. If the woman in the picture's alive at 1:30, I call my partner. It's the woman in the picture. Or your daughter.
Oh, my God.
You're wasting time.
Please, I don't have much time. I need your help.
I'm not a bartender. I don't want to hear it.
There's a little girl in a van. She's my daughter.
What are you dragging me into?
I don't know who to trust. Everybody's involved in this thing.
I've been watching. You go do it.
You're gonna be a hero, Daddy.
What are you gonna do?
Her security people may be involved.
I'm gonna do whatever I have to.
Hurry up.
I don't think we should go through with this. It's too late for that now.
Paramount Pictures presents
Let's go.
Johnny Depp,
Just remember the van.
Christopher Walken,
You're like a worm on a hook, wiggling around, thinking you might get off.
I am honored to present Governor Eleanor Grant.
Nick of Time. Real terror.
Time's up.
In real time.
Hello everyone, and welcome to They Call This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships one terrible movie at a time. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Spreaker, and pretty much anywhere else you get your podcasts. We're also proud members of Geek Vibes Nation. You can visit them at gvnation.com. Welcome to another episode of They Call This a Movie. I am your host, Dan Aquino, joined by the incomparable Mark Meyer. Say hi.
Hello. It's fun. It feels like we're doing this when the parents aren't home or something.
It's always great. Yeah, Anthony is not with us. That's why you're hearing my voice. And I think we're better off without him, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I think the people will be able to vote with that, and you can tweet with Anthony or without Anthony hashtags to @TomSchuster on Twitter.
And we'll count those votes.
Yep, that's all you have to say. No other text. Just hashtag with Anthony or hashtag without Anthony.
Yeah, and I think we're going to prove our point by just how...
great this is.
Yeah, oh man, we're going to knock it out of the ballpark.
We're going to be as good at this episode as Johnny Depp is as a father.
So convincing. Such a convincing father. So yes, this week was Mark's turn to pick a movie. And Mark, he picked... I like this movie. He picked a doozy. So Mark, introduce our movie of the week.
We'll get right into it because me and Dan watched the same things this week. And we're going to wait to discuss WandaVision with Anthony. So probably a little shorter podcast this time. But yes, and speaking of time, I picked Nick of Time, the Johnny Depp, Christopher Walken movie from, I believe, like the mid-90s?
95.
Yep. Yes, because the reason I picked this movie, I looked at Amazon Prime and came down to two movies. There's this one movie that everyone in my work adores. There's a movie poster of it in the accounting office, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that movie. Maybe we'll watch it. Then I saw Nick of Time, and the only memory I have of this movie, because I've never seen it before this, is seeing it on the shelf at Blockbuster.
I was actually having a conversation with a coworker about Blockbuster and how exciting it was. Like Friday nights, I would go and rent video games from Blockbuster. They had that, and the only time I could watch... I was speaking with the guys from 607 Podcast. Go check them out if you can, 607 Podcast. They do a lot of wrestling talk. So the only time I could watch any pay-per-view was you had to wait till it came out on VHS.
Yes, yeah.
So, we would rent, like the SummerSlam or the Royal Rumble. But man, talking about Blockbuster made me kind of miss it.
Yeah.
But then you realize you have everything at your fingertips now. Yeah.
The only fun thing about Blockbuster that I miss, which is why I wanted to watch this movie, it's because it was that thing of, at least the age we were when we went in before Blockbuster went away, is going in and not really knowing the movie releases, like not having them at your fingertips on the internet.
Right.
And seeing the new releases wall, which is everything that was released. And also, I don't know if your Blockbuster did this, but I'm assuming they all did. Mine used to have one of those old magnetized letter boards behind the register and told you what was coming out each week.
Oh, maybe it did. I don't remember.
I just remember because I have a fascination with, I love those type of magnet letter boards because they're fun. There's a movie theater in, I believe it's Granite Run in Pennsylvania, that still looks like it's straight out of the 70s. Ooh. Like the concession stand prices are all those magnetic numbers and letters and stuff like that. It's orange, creamsicle colored walls. So that when I saw this movie, it instantly brought me back to this. And it also brought me to a time when they would just smash two actors together in a movie and just, let's see what happens.
Yeah, hope for the best.
It's like, hey, we got this good script, this up-and-coming actor, Johnny Depp. I don't know, he might have been arrived at this point, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's a good point, because this was probably after Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, so or even like young star, let's put him with a little bit of an older star.
Right.
Christopher Walken. Make sure there's no boats in this movie. And let's see what happens. It goes to positive things in a movie like Face Off, where you put Cage and Travolta together and it makes magic. Or it's Nick of Time, where this movie, while fun at times, was really mediocre in terms of story. Oh. I don't know. What was your thoughts going in?
Well, I had never seen this movie, and I thought the main character's name was going to be Nick, because Nick of Time, because I'm a dumbass and thought Nick was spelled with a K.
Well, because you live near New York.
Or the Knickerbockers, yeah, sure. So we're I get it. His name's Nick, and he probably has to, stop a bomb or something, or I don't know. But, oh man, was I way off. This movie was a lot of fun. So I wanted to check, because we were talking about, had he arrived. He had done, this is Johnny Depp, he had done What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Benny and June.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands was 1990. Ed Wood and Don Juan de Marco. That's probably not a good one.
Don Juan Marco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had never seen that. So this came out in 95? Yeah, 95. So yeah, he had already gotten quite a few movies under his belt.
Was he more obviously age-wise, he's more the Cade in this, if we're going to use the face-off comparison.
Sure.
Because Travolta and Walken both became famous around the same time, or had their breaks around the same time. In that, Cage had already made, Raising Arizona.
Right.
And I think Leaving Las Vegas before that. Yeah, because that was 93.
Right. Was he in Moonstruck?
I think so,
okay.
Yes. But he had already done those movies, and then they threw them together in his thing. But what I think this reads more as you read me that list, Dan, it shows me that this was Johnny Depp having 3 weeks off in L.A. and his agent just going, hey, they're shooting this movie with Christopher Walken. You want to do it? And he's like, sure. Why not? I have nothing else to do.
Right. Cross one off the list. Like a bucket list, right? Yeah, I worked with Christopher Walken.
Yeah, they want you to star in this Christopher Walken movie. Do you have free time? Yeah, I got about 6 weeks in L.A. I'm going to shoot. It's 2 locations, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, this movie, while we enjoyed it, it's not good. It's not a good movie. It boasts a Rotten Tomatoes score of 32% and an IMDb score of 6.3.
And I'll give a theory that I heard
6.3 out of 10, sorry.
That I heard from somebody that I work with, and I don't know if Anthony wants to chime in next week or just off podcast with us. A guy at work said the best bad movies that are watchable all fall within the range of 6.0 and 6.4 on the IMDb scale.
Oh. There's a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Right? And we cover a good amount of those, but yeah.
So I'm not surprised to hear this movie ends up in that category. Because it has the right mix of kind of interesting storyline, not great, 2 known actors that people would watch this movie and would give it a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt.
Right.
than if it was anybody else.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're not putting a Baldwin in there with some random other guy.
Well, even if it's two unknown actors.
Right.
Like, even if they end up being good, like, we're talking mid-90s, it would be like Johnny Depp doing this movie in, like, 89, before Edward Scissorhands, when he really just has 21 Jump Street,
right,
Friday the 13th, or no,
I think he was in Platoon at that point.
Platoon, like, not anything
major.
mainstream,
right,
as Edward Scissorhands became.
Right, that's what kind of jumped.
Then people would not rate this movie as high.
Right.
But because Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken at this point, it gets the higher rating. But yeah, I think my main thoughts on this movie, because we'll go through what plot there is in this movie, it's really just one plot, is I don't know whether to blame Johnny Depp or the director, because it feels like I don't think he knew how to play this character. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was bad direction or Johnny Depp not knowing how to show human emotions, as it seemed like at moments in this movie.
I think a few people don't know how to show human emotion.
Well, Christopher Walken never shows human emotions.
Right.
But it's just... And you looked up the director, which we'll go through that after I'm done my spiel here, but he's done a lot of movies, so I don't know if it's... It was just weird.
Yeah.
It just felt like I know what they want with this character by just listening to how they talk about it, but Johnny Depp's not playing that character.
Right. I would 100% agree. And as Mark alluded to, this movie was directed by John Badham, who had directed such classics as War Games, Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta, as we mentioned, and Short Circuit. So, like 3 totally different movies.
Yeah.
And then you got Nick of Time, which is, again... So he didn't stick one, like, genre, John Badham, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And, it's steady work. You get... if you're directing multiple genres, it's easier to stay employed.
Yep.
But going back to my analogy about Johnny Depp, I wonder if it was a similar thing for him, where it was like, it's like a producer friend has the script, and it's sort of like, hey, we need this... Like, real done 2 weeks, in and out. Mm-hmm. You're a veteran director. Just go do it. He gets on set. Johnny Depp says, I'm playing this character at this point. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to cash the check. You go ahead and do what you want, Johnny.
Yeah.
I don't... Just hit your marks, say your lines.
And we'll go from there.
We'll be out of here.
So, as we mentioned, Nick of Time stars a one Johnny Depp, Courtney Chase, Charles S. Dutton, Christopher Walken, and Roma Mafia.
The assistant is...
I think, is that Marsha Mason? No, that's the governor.
That's the governor.
Gloria Rubin. There we go.
Rubin, yes.
Gloria Rubin. Now, is she someone special to you, Mark?
No, I know
show?
the name. She's been in other movies and stuff.
She was in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot. And Admission. I don't know that movie, but it's a movie I might know, but I don't. So, hey, good for her. I mean, she was perfectly fine.
She's a recognizable face, and just like Charles S. Dutton.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Charles S. Dutton.
It's one of those like, okay, yeah, I've seen those in a lot of things, in some things I've watched. Yeah. I probably, if we scroll through IMDb, it's probably something really stupid. Mm-hmm. Like how I point out really dumb actors from random projects that I've seen.
But that's why we love you on this podcast.
Yeah, like the body double one, like the one that Chris Pine takes over. I'm like, it's the Bays from Life Unexpected. And you guys just silence on the other end.
Yep, that sounds about right, Mark. And we can't even debate you on that. Like, are you sure?
No, 100% sure that you guys probably never watched it.
No, unfortunately not. No. But that's what we need. We need that in this podcast.
Yeah. And that's an extreme example. But that's why I want to make sure you mention her, because, character actors, a lot of people watch this movie and go, I know her.
I did not know her. A lot of these people I figured just outside of, Depp, Walken, and Dutton, I'd never seen before, and I figured they probably didn't get much work after.
Yeah, Gloria Rubin, what I first thought, but then I should have known age-wise, it didn't match up. When I first saw her, I thought of the girl that plays the main Skylar sister in Hamilton, for anybody who's seen Hamilton out there. I thought, I was like, wait, and in my head I'm like, is this movie more recent than I think it is? Or is she much older than I think she is?
I think she's much older.
But no, I think she's in her 30s. But
okay.
This Gloria Rubin kind of looks like her.
In this movie, she's in her 30s.
No. The girl from Hamilton.
Oh, gotcha.
Is in her 30s. She would have been like 10 when this movie came out. But she looks pretty similar at first glance. And until I looked the IMDb figured it out. But yeah, that's what this movie feels like. It feels like one of those mid-90s movies where a lot of people just had time on their hands and were between bigger projects or they did TV shows between their TV shows. And we're just like, hey, I'll go make a paycheck. It seems like a fun movie. We're only shooting in 2 locations. It's not much of a hassle. Yeah,
not too much really goes into this. And, we're going to break it down why not a lot went into it. But let's take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills, as Anthony likes to say. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to They Called This a Movie. And we're going to break down the, I guess we're going to go into, do you want to go into the plot now, I guess? Or
well, no, break down some of the financials and stuff when we make of time.
The financials.
We get in there. Yeah, let's read some of those. Was this a success, Dan?
You could say it's a success.
Okay.
But I wouldn't because it bombed. Its budget was $33 million, and it grossed $8 million. Just north of $8 million. $8,175,000.
So it made about a quarter of its money back.
And yeah, that really is terrible. It's funny because, again, you mentioned you have star power like Christopher Walken in it and Johnny Depp, and you would think that's enough drawing power. Yeah. But, oh, man, that's the kind of gross that puts people out of work.
The one thing, there's one bit of research that if I would have known those numbers before recording this, you dropped them on me right before the podcast. One of 2 reasons that could have happened. One, I don't know if we can actually really research. We might be able to, but I don't know how to. Is how it was marketed back then. Did the studio already know it was a flop? And was just like, we're just going to put it out and whatever sunk cost, we get to write it off or whatever in the taxes. There's really no way to research that I know of to see how it was marketed. Yeah. Outside of watching the trailer, but that could mean anything. But I would love to know, and maybe people can send it to us on Twitter, what this came out against. Like, what was its opening weekend with? I don't know if we can find that out, but if not, that's fine. We never done that deeper research before, but I'm just curious if it's one or the other.
I think what makes it worse is it opened up Thanksgiving week.
Okay, so probably like 4 days. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's a...
What was its opening? Does it say its opening weekend?
Yeah, not good. $2 million.
Oh, Jesus.
$2 million. $2,781,000. Opened November 26th, 1995. So yeah, you'd think with the holiday weekend, you would get a little extra bump. I mean,
that goes against my first theory. They probably marketed it because it was a holiday movie.
Exactly.
If this was a movie that came out in May or April, or even January, you could see it being not pushed. But a Thanksgiving release, they pushed the shit out of this movie.
You would think so. Paramount was the one who was releasing it. So you'd think that they wouldn't really skimp on marketing.
There's definitely some movies, and we probably watched some of them.
Right.
That didn't make a lot of money, and mainly it was probably because they knew it was a sunk cost. But
it's weird because usually those movies are the Januaries and Februaries, but this is November.
Yeah, this just must have got terrible reviews or terrible word of mouth or something.
I don't know. I mean,
but yeah,
after watching it, I could see why.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and we'll get into the plot shortly, but it wasn't even dumb fun at times.
Right.
It was just a very straightforward plot. That very basic. You could have paint by numbers. There were some crazy things that'll happen that we'll get to, but then you have this happen, and you get to the rising action. A lot of film student writing segments.
I think your movie's in trouble when one of the most interesting facts about the movie is that many of the actors and actresses used very little or no makeup during filmmaking.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. I saw Johnny Depp sweating a lot in that movie.
He did sweat a lot. He had a lot of upper lip sweat.
Yeah.
And a lot of close-ups of that. And Johnny Depp is just constantly asking, huh? What? What did you say? He must say that 100 times during this film. And I guess what they're trying to go for is like he's in such disbelief and such shock that he's tuning everything out. But from an audience standpoint... It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because people are talking to him and he's zoning out. Huh? What's that? Right, the whole cab scene. The cabbie's talking to him. Yeah. Huh? What was it? It's everything. If I was a cabbie, like, are you fucking deaf, dude? So we'll get on the plot. Sure. Nick of Time, 1995. Opens up with a Amtrak train coming into Los Angeles Station
and a very 90s thing of train travel being a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
I remembered when around that age that it was always like, hey, travel across country by train for only like $300.
It was very sophisticated.
Yeah, there was like big promotion of trains then. So that's the first thing I thought of when they had the big zoom up of Amtrak as it pulled into the station. And then you get into the train station, very famous one that's in a lot of movies because, it is in LA. And for some reason, rollerbladers are torturing the senior citizen security guard.
Right. I mean, I guess what they're going for is you have the mid-90s LA is just like a total hellhole.
It's like 80s New York?
Yeah. But because they're the opening shot is a bunch of bums attacking each other on the rail station. I was like, oh, that kind of looks like... I thought this was going to be New York. I was like, that looks like my train ride into New York. Just like people just attacking each other.
Yeah.
But no, it's set in LA. And for some reason, yeah, there's a gentleman who's rollerblading and terrorizing people. All those roving rollerblading gangs of the mid-90s.
I feel they just couldn't find people who could skateboard.
Right.
That's why it had to be rollerblade.
That guy was so... And he's picking on a little kid. He's picking on Johnny Depp's kid.
Yeah. So Johnny Depp walks in with his kid. And being the least affectionate father, I could tell... But he's trying so hard to look like it's affection, but he's just like, you see this younger couple kissing, and it's just like, hey, you never saw me and mommy kiss like that?
What is that?
He's like, no. It's like, how? And she was out acting him in this scene. It was amazing.
Yeah, like a 5-year-old. Who says that? Oh, you never saw me and mommy kiss like that? Who says that to their child? Like, oh, most of the time you feel like, okay, come along, daughter. Let's just move past them.
You missed lots of kisses.
Yeah.
But, and then, before that we see Christopher Walken, and his partner, sort of scoping out the train station looking people. They're looking to do something with people because they're scouting, like, how about them? Oh, no, too old.
I wish they'd went with the old couple. That would have been great.
Then they point out the couple that's kissing. And we find out later that they don't pick them because they end up being foreigners.
You think would be... Oh, I guess it wouldn't make total sense because why would they want to go after who they're going after?
Yeah. And also, it'd be tough for him to communicate.
Right.
Apparently he's this super assassin, Christopher Walken, spoilers, and doesn't know French.
One of the romance languages.
Yeah. Just must just stick to America. And do his assassination.
He's only, he doesn't go outside.
Only U.S. based. So Johnny Depp, after having the weird kissing conversation with his daughter, goes to another staple of the 90s. They go find a payphone.
That's right. The phone booths.
Yeah. Now, kids, a payphone is where you used to put quarters into an actual phone to be able to dial. Or if you were clever enough, you dialed one of the collect numbers, yelled whatever you want to say to your mother into the name thing, and then just hang up the phone.
Yeah, we're teaching the kids this episode. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, dial 1-800 collect, and it says, what's your name? And it's, Mom, I'm eating at Tommy's tonight. I'll see you later.
Do you accept the charges? No. Well, it's that famous commercial.
It's the baby commercial.
Yeah, had a baby, it's a boy. Do you accept the calls? No, thanks. It's Tom. He had a baby. It's a boy. Oh, man. Yeah, it's the phone bank, right? It's a whole phone bank.
And then this is where the skaters terrorize the little girl wanting to steal her teddy bear for some reason.
Like, obviously, L.A. was terrible, but was it that terrible? They were going to hijack little kids' teddy bear?
My favorite part of this whole scene is when the one skater's circling around, and then Johnny Depp's trying to have whatever... I don't know what kind of phone... Like, what meeting is he late for?
Who's he talking to? I don't know.
It's never resolved.
No.
He's an accountant, so...
right.
So the guy circles around, and then all of a sudden he just goes, hey, look at this. And it zooms back into him, and it's just him giving the finger. Go, John.
Yeah, the best part of that scene is this guy is harassing your daughter, and all Johnny Depp is doing is like, hey, get out of here. Come on, go. Just shooing him. Like, most parents Like, let me call you back. And just, like, beat the shit out of this guy. Or just, confront him. But no, it's like a mild convenience that this grown man is trying to steal from his daughter.
Yeah. And the way he solves it is, I guess, was one of those, I always make the joke, the it's gold Jerry moments of writing a script of he knocks over the trash can in the guy's path and they trip over it, fall down, hit their heads and stuff. And then he can lean into the door and he goes, "That's why you always wear your knee pads and helmet."
And then super cut. It's gold, Jerry.
Gold, Jerry.
It's gold. Yeah, I didn't understand the point of that. I felt as if it was going to show that Johnny Depp was like a guy you don't fuck with.
No. It was supposed to.
That's what I think it was meant to be.
No, it was supposed to show that Johnny Depp was a good father.
Oh.
Johnny Depp did not deliver those lines as though he was a good father teaching his daughter a lesson.
No, he's a very unconvincing parent.
No.
He and the daughter have zero chemistry in this movie.
Yeah.
And you feel as if he doesn't care about like what really happens. Like, oh, okay, sweetheart, I love you. Kisses. Okay.
The most chemistry with this little girl is between her and Christopher Walken's partner.
Yes.
In this movie.
Why are you so annoying? You ask too many questions. Oh, sorry.
So next scene is, Christopher Walken and partner walks up to Johnny Depp, flashes a badge. It's the 90s.
That'll get you pretty far.
That was pre-ACAB and all that. And he was completely okay with it. Just walked out with them, and they walked to an unmarked van. Still cool with it. Kind of asking questions, but still cool with it. And became uncool with it when he locked the van doors. Roma Mafia's character. And by the way, it's just Mr. Smith and Ms. Jones. So Ms. Jones actually picks up his daughter, picks her up, and he's okay with it. No cop ever does that. Right? What cop has ever just gone over and scooped up someone's kid, like, oh, follow me? No, put my daughter down. And Christopher was like, she's good with kids.
She steals a magazine for no reason.
And the daughter goes, you stole that.
I confiscated it.
What's the difference?
It serves no purpose to the scene or the character. It's so weird. But yeah, you're right. Like, they get in, like, no, we're, everything's okay. And then they have that dramatic scene where he locks in all four of the locks. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, now you know. Yeah. You're in trouble.
They put the loud music on the daughter.
Yep.
Yeah. And here's my favorite thing about this scene, because this is that he just basically lays out the plot. This woman needs to die. Photos on the thing, which we'll get to in a second. That's a great reveal. Needs to be killed. You got to kill her by 1:30. Well, we just goes through the whole plot. And when Johnny Depp is like sort of not agreeing with him, a man that he needs to walk around to do a murder, Christopher Walken is hitting him in the knee with the butt of a gun.
Right. Yeah.
Of all places to hit him when you need this man to be physically walking around.
Right.
Just kneecapping him with the butt end of a gun.
Yeah.
It's not a great decision.
Do you understand now? Are you listening?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. Yeah. It's like, the building he needs to go to is like across the street, and he's just like pistol whipping him.
In the knee. The one place he should not hit.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
He would have been better off hitting him in the head and letting him be knocked out for 10 minutes than taking his knees out.
Right.
So they figured out, so they let him out of the car, and then this becomes the moment where Christopher Walken pops up out of anywhere like the creepiest person. Well, like Christopher Walken.
Right, Christopher Walken, yeah.
In this movie. And he has a shitty mustache, right?
I was going to say, I think we glossed over that he has the slicked back hair.
Yeah.
And he has, I don't know how to describe his mustache, but it's not a good looking mustache. It's kind of like a barely there mustache. Yeah. He didn't go all the way with it. I think it makes him look very unintimidating.
Yeah. It looks like it looks like he shaved for a mustache.
Yeah.
But then forgot the day of filming.
Right.
And it was
didn't
the
grow
next
all the way
day.
back.
And it couldn't come back in time.
Right.
To be a good mustache. So he just had to roll with it.
And this is, again, everyone's pretty young here. Like, Christopher Walken is probably like 50 in it.
Yeah.
But he looks good.
Yeah.
Right. He's not older. But man, that mustache was a choice.
Yeah, he was going for something that did not work.
No. Yeah, it was a bad choice.
So once they let him out of the car, it starts the circus-like events that occur to try to solve this problem in an hour and a half or hour and a few minutes, which is conveniently the length of the movie remaining.
Right, it plays out in real time, I think.
Basically, yeah. So first up is he gets in a cab, and the cabbie takes the worst fare ever. He's like, I need to go to the Bonaventure Hotel. He's like, well, it's right over there. Right. Sure, get in. Right. It's like, what? It turns out to be, what, $2.50?
Yeah. Or something. You wasted the gas, basically.
Yeah, no cabbie would take that cab ride.
Right, he even tells him, it's right across the... You can see it.
You can see it. And it brings up one of my favorite plot points that happened. That you can go on your rant about the direction here in terms of the sound if you want.
How everything just kind of goes, it's white noise, basically, to him. And the cabbie is talking to him about, are you here for business or pleasure? Huh? Business or pleasure? Oh, business. Oh, okay. You ever been to San Francisco? What? Oh, God. I would have stopped at that point.
My favorite.
Never mind.
What are we doing in San Diego? Funeral.
Yeah.
At that point, I would have stopped talking. I'm like,
okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think he digs a little bit more.
Wife.
Right.
Ex-wife.
Yeah. You got to make sure it's the ex-wife in there.
Yeah. At that point, I'm like, did you kill your wife?
That would have been such a great twist. Right. It turns out he's a huge killer. And it turns out he's this big time killer and he has no problem killing people. Yeah. So Christopher Walken kind of
picked the right person.
Right. Got more than he bargained for.
Yeah. And then at the end of the scene brings me to the first of many moments where Johnny Depp's character attempts to tell somebody about what's going on, and it fails miserably.
It's great.
He by the way, it's a plot hole because maybe it's just me when I get a card. So what he does is he writes a note on the back of his business card and gives it with the money to the cabbie.
Right.
So the cabbie takes it, puts the money in his pocket, gets the card, and only looks at the front of the card and goes, it's an accountant. What do I need with an accountant? And then just crumbles and throws it away.
Right.
I don't know about everybody you out there, but anytime I get a card, I just do the...
Yeah, you check it out.
You check it out.
Yeah.
He didn't even just looked at the front and threw it away.
Right, because, sometimes there are things written on the back.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Well, no, even just doing this, he would have noticed there was something writing.
Right.
He literally just went like that. All right, do not turn the card over because the whole plot hinges on you not reading the back of this card. Right.
And so Mark had alluded that Christopher Walken's character, Mr. Smith, just pops up in random spots when the story calls for it. Yeah. So for example, you can do a counter. If we were doing video, we would have a counter. So Johnny Depp, Christopher Walken sends Johnny Depp to do his mission. Johnny Depp sees a cop. He goes, "Excuse me, officer." And right behind the cop is Christopher Walken. Somehow he beat him there. And then he gets in the cab, and he's trying to tell the cabbie, listen, someone kidnapped my daughter. They want me. And then all of a sudden, a van swerves in the way of the cab. Yeah. It's Christopher Walken. How does he know first of all, how does he catch up so quickly? Yeah. Second of all, how does he know he's just about to tell him that something's going on? It happens. It must happen at least 10 times in this movie. At least 10 times. Anytime Johnny Depp goes somewhere, Walken is right there. Okay. It's like the scene in The Simpsons, the Simpsons episode with the Greyhounds. I don't know. You probably haven't seen it, Mark. But
I may have, but don't remember it as well as you.
So there's a scene where Bart and Lisa are saving the Greyhounds from being killed by Burns, and they go down the laundry chute, and they get to the basement. And Burns is already there. That's impossible. Yeah, that's what it is. I guess Christopher Walken found a wormhole where he could travel.
He's just teleporting.
Right. He could. That's his mutant power. He could just go wherever Johnny Depp is.
Yeah. So after this, they go into the hotel, and my favorite reveal of this movie is he's sitting there looking around, and he's nervous and doesn't want to. He slowly turns the picture out, and then he hears a guy yelling. Construction worker. He looks up. The construction worker yells down at the guy. And I was like, all right, pull it. And they pull it. And a big giant,
it's a banner.
Poster, advertisement, whatever, drops down and reveals a photo of a woman. And it says, whatever her name is, re-elect for governor of California. And then the camera swoops back to Johnny Depp. and he pulls the photo out of the envelope, and it's the same photo as the one on the wall. And you find out that he has to kill the governor of California.
Governor Eleanor Grant. It should have been backwards, right? It should have been he takes the picture out, he sees, okay, it's a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta find this woman. All of a sudden, hey, Mark, unfurl the banner. Okay, just look it up. Governor of California.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Either way, it's such a great reveal. Like,
it's so
now
good.
You're like, oh, okay. Now it gets a little more complicated. Because at first, you're just, oh, he has to kill a woman. I'm like, well...
Could be anybody.
Like,
right.
Are these like, is she like a witness? Like, you know, and then that drops me like, oh, okay, I can see how they can make an entire hour that's left of this movie in here.
That's a good point. I think it would have been more interesting had it been a witness to something, right?
Yeah, it could have been. The only way it works, and we'll get into specifics of when this happens in this movie, is the moment where he meets the person he's got to kill.
Yeah.
If it's a witness, then it's sort of one of those things where he like tries to help her and gets, you know, you could have that meeting. Here, it doesn't work as well.
Right.
Because there's so much of suspension of disbelief that occurs for that moment to happen.
Yeah. Is the first being that all of a sudden he's the biggest donor to her campaign?
That and the later one in the thing.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, so first thing he, you know, they reveal, and then right after he gets the reveal, he takes a few steps away, and then who pops up in front of him?
Christopher Walken.
And then explains, and he goes, well, how am I'm supposed to kill the governor, blah, 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 you know. And he goes, well, he's like, how can I get close to the governor? He's like, well, you're one of her biggest supporters. And he pins this thing on him that is apparently an identification card for being one of the bigged sponsors.
I think it's like a VIP badge, essentially. Yeah. Like, he'll get anywhere he wants to go because he's the biggest donator.
Yeah, and God love a pre-9/11 world.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that she made that in the back of the van with just just a little label maker printer of his name and the card.
Oh, it's that's cutting edge technology right there.
Yeah, it's almost as good as in Johnny Mnemonic. When they make the fake IDs.
That's right. Yeah, it's.
Wait, was that the? Was that the beach movie? It had Al that henchman guy that we've had in a lot of our movies.
Now I can't remember. Either way.
Yeah, but either way, it's like basically they did the thing where they took a photo, cut the photo out, matched up with the photo and the ID, put it through a laminator. Yeah, and then it worked.
And it worked. No issues whatsoever. So yeah, so essentially his job is to now, he has until 1:30 to kill the governor. And he gets so many chances to do so. And Christopher Walken is like the most lenient assassin in the history of assassins. Because Depp is obviously, you know, he's an everyday man, right? So he's an everyman. So he's not a killer. So he's obviously nervous to pull the trigger. And he gets a golden opportunity. They meet in the elevator. And again, Depp just zones the fuck out. And the governor's asking questions. And you hear nothing. And, huh? What? What do you want? So they're basically, what do you want, man? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He tries to tell the governor about the daughter. And then the elevator opens up.
And it's Christopher Walken.
And there stands Christopher Walken. How is he getting... He gets to places faster than Johnny Depp does.
Yeah, and he's apparently he also is wearing some kind of badge or pin.
Right, that
allows him on the elevator.
Right.
We find out later why that might be, but, you know... And then he goes, your daughter, you said yes. He's like, oh, she just wanted me to make sure you got an autograph.
Right.
And the governor being, I guess she's supposed to be a good governor, but she also seems kind of shitty in this moment. She goes, oh, it's an easy one to do.
What else could it have been?
My kid has cancer. Can you hear it for me?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know at all.
Yeah, that's an interesting scene. So he's getting ready to spill his guts. He plays it off beautifully. Wink, not really. And I guess Walken is expecting him to do the deed there.
Yeah,
which is terrible. Yeah, you're not going to kill someone in an elevator. There's no escape from there.
Yeah, even I wouldn't attempt that in Hitman.
Right. Yeah, pick your spots. So he lets the governor go. Walken freaks out. Beats the shit out of Johnny Depp a little bit. You had a golden opportunity there. Like, those chances don't come around every so often. But then I have, like, at like 12:30, I get another shot.
So, yeah, let's look at the itinerary.
Right. You don't get a shot like that. All right, when's the next opportunity?
Here's where we go.
Right.
And then at this point, I think he goes and gets a drink.
Yes.
I believe Johnny Depp goes and gets a drink. This is where it all gets muddled, where I just remember moments. Mm-hmm. I don't remember particularly, outside of I remember the moments, the big ones, where he gets close to killing the governor. Those I can parse out, but these little things, I don't know if it happens before or after. But anyway, so he goes and gets a drink, and then you hear these two guys talking at the bar. And they are probably, today, would be really shitty people.
Right.
Because, they're talking about how, essentially, the governor putting people that don't look like them, and they're white men,
right,
into
like
her
yuppies.
cabinet, into her cabinet. How is she representing me with all these, as they say, the United Nations in her cabinet? And I'm just like, oh, boy.
Yeah, that wouldn't have aged. That didn't age well.
No, that didn't age well at all. And then you find out later on, they turn out to be journalists.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, they were the cameraman and the journalist at the end.
Oh, I didn't know that. So that one, the JBN reporter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guy, I've seen him before. He's another character actor.
Yeah.
Peter Mckenzie. And he shows up a lot.
And what's his IMDb that we should know?
I'm checking. He's in it. He's in an episode of It's Always Sunny. He's the doctor in The Gang Saves the Day, Trumbo, Supergirl, Two Broke Girl. He's been in a bunch of things. I'm trying to look in like the 90s. I feel like he was in like Major League, Back to the Minors. Could I be right about that?
That'd be amazing. That'd be great.
That would be like a U pull. When did that movie come out? That had to be in the 90s, right?
Between 97 and 99.
Malcolm in the Middle. Major League, Back to the Minors. Carlton Doc Wingate. He's the pitcher who can't throw like more than 60 miles an hour. Bam! That's a good one.
There you go, Dan. How's that feel?
You know what? I get it now. I get it. I understand how. So now Anthony's the only one who doesn't have one.
But yeah, so that was, those guys talking was the only that didn't, well, a lot of it didn't age well, but meaning in terms of philosophy, where you wouldn't be able to get away with that.
Right.
In a movie today and have them not be evil characters.
Right.
These are just supposed to be like two guys talking at a bar thing.
Yeah, they're offering some insight into the governor, essentially.
Yeah. And they come up twice, and then the second time is when you find out who they are. Right before the big speech, they go, "Oh, we got to get set up," and he runs and grabs his camera.
Right.
The camera guy. But yeah, so he gets his drink, and Chris Walken again going, "No, we got to do it," just right on him. And then at this point, I think this is when he goes and gets his shoe shined
for the first time. Yeah. I think, he get it 3 times? 3 shoe shines? Twice, okay.
Yeah. The first time, my favorite part about Charles Dutton's character here is he is a caricature of what I think people assume shoe shine people are.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I've walked past shoe shine people in New York, and none of them were like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, look, you got some wingtip shoes there. You want to get it?"
Right. They're basically they're like characters of like a carny, essentially.
Yeah.
Like step right up. Test your luck here.
Shoe shine. You gotta have some shine on those shoes.
Right.
He's talking like he's in the 40s.
Nothing better than a good wingtip.
Yeah. Something like he's straight out of a
like a Newsies.
Yeah, of a detective movie from the 40s,
right,
set in LA.
There's Dick Tracy
he's just
over here
behind there, and knowing that. And the other thing is, if we have anybody out there that's a shoe shiner or knows people that are shoe shiners in these public places, would they be as knowledgeable as this guy is about shoes? He knows the exact going, "Oh, these shoes, you got to do this a little bit or you'll wear it out."
It's probably just a bunch of bullshit, right?
Yeah. He feels like a car mechanic,
right?
It's one of my favorite jokes, and I think it's one of our your more recent favorite comedian.
Dane Cook.
That's a great joke where you go to the car mechanic and he's like, "I don't know anything they're talking about. They could tell me anything and I believe it."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yeah, we got inside there were some holes in your radiator and we looked in there and there's a little tiny unicorn jumping up and down and poking holes in there. So we had to go in there, we had to get out the unicorn and And then seal up the thing. Oh, unicorn.
Oh, wow. I've heard about that. Yeah.
You got that, huh? I didn't even know that was in there.
Yeah, I think no one's going to question the shoe shiner.
That's exactly what it felt like when he was talking. Was the idea of when anybody, even to technology, taken to in our friends group here. Anytime Tom starts talking about things, computer components, he's knowledgeable and great and awesome. I just nod and go, okay, I'm going to Google this later so that I learn it. But as you're talking about it right now, I have no clue what you're talking about.
I have no reason not to believe you.
You do. Yeah. And that's exactly what this shoe shine guy is. And Johnny Depp gives him a 20. I think he tries to tell him, but I don't know.
He does.
He tries to whisper, but the guy says
he's deaf.
Not that he can't. He's hard of hearing,
right? Because
of the being a veteran.
Yep. He was in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he has a wooden leg too, which comes into play later.
Yeah.
So half deaf, wooden leg, both very important.
Later in the movie. So from this point, he goes up to the. He has to He goes and tries to explain everything to a janitor, and as he's about to say it, who pops into frame? Christopher Walken. And so he just ends up just asking the janitor where the pool room is or whatever.
Yeah, directions.
Yeah.
How do I get to the pool room?
Oh, it's just fourth floor upstairs.
Well played, Johnny Depp.
So they go up there, and then the funniest moment in the movie happens. This is where, I think this would be what they would say, like, is the end of Act 1 or Act 2 or something like that. Anthony, if he watched this, would know the structure better than I in terms of this. But he gets up, and he waits in line. He sees that they're doing metal detector.
Right.
So he starts to try to walk out of line. And then all of a sudden, this one guy goes, oh, you're VIP,
Yep.
I can take you down here. You don't have to wait in that line. And they go down there, and he's doing the thing, and you're like, how are they going to get away with this? And then they do the zoom in. As he gets to the gun, he turns off, because apparently it's that easy to on-off switch them without notifying anybody around you that you've turned them off. And goes by and goes, all right, you're good to go. And at that point, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the top, man. It goes all the way to the top. And
from that point forward, everything just keeps escalating.
Yes.
Because at that point, which is one of my favorite, slightly badass moments of Christopher Walken in this movie, is when they get to the top, he sees the head of security and all that, and he's got the gun, and they're having a little bicker. And he goes over, he's like, officer, that man over there has a gun.
He's trying to kill the governor.
Yeah, you should frisk him and get him out of here. And then the guy leans over and goes, well, just like the gun you have, Mr. whatever his name is.
I think it's Watson. Gene Watson, yeah.
Yeah, just like the gun you have, Mr. Watson.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then Christopher Walken walks over.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, what are you going to do?
I thought you had this under control.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We're running out of these. And he hands him a walkie-talkie.
Oh, that's Johnny Depp throws the walkie-talkie away. And again, just like a super nice assassin. He's just like, all right, well, don't do that again.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's cool, And they point out, and this is where this is the first time I think they start mentioning, you keep pointing out, that this could have all just been taken care of with a long rifle.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing?
100%.
All these events are wide open.
Right. They take the longest route possible
to
accomplish their goal. And it makes you question his motives, or like how he works as an assassin.
Yes, this is the moment. I don't know if it's before or after the cop, but this is the moment where Christopher Walken has a whole speech about the Irish-Italian guy.
Oh,
that was his best friend.
And he killed him.
And he's like, you know why he's dead? I don't know. Why is he dead?
Because you killed him.
I don't know. Why is he dead? Because you killed him.
That's right.
Damn right, killed him. And if I could kill that guy, and then he said something about like making a stew out of his daughter or something.
I forget.
Something awful like that, like a soup or a stew.
It's very weird.
It's very strange, And it's just like going, oh, this was supposed to be the moment in the script where Johnny Depp's character was supposed to be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not to fuck around with this guy. Yeah.
Johnny Depp does not react that way as the character.
He just stares blankly at him. Yeah, I do remember that now. His good friend, he kills him.
Yeah, because he fucks up too much.
Right. But then he does nothing of the sort with Johnny Depp, who just constantly fucks up in this movie. On purpose.
Yeah. He just goes through. And then the next thing you know, this is when he meets Gloria Reuben.
Yep.
the assistant, and pulls a gun on her.
The wrong person.
While telling him to trust him. And then they get pulled backstage, and he goes through the whole conversation with them, and she goes, well, how can I trust you? You're
literally pointing a gun at me.
So then he does. I don't know why this happens in movies, especially in situations where somebody is threatening someone with a gun to get like, it wasn't me. No.
Right. I'm being told to do this.
Here, trust me. And then he hands the gun to the person who's being threatened. And going, you trust me now?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And it's just essentially like, what is stopping them from going and just shooting them?
Or you're just like, you gun.
Gun. This guy gave me a gun. What? And apparently that's how she starts trusting him. And then this is when you find out the real conspiracy, because they go to the only person that they can trust, which in these kind of movies means that person is definitely in on it.
Right, you cannot be trusted.
So they go upstairs, and they saying, oh, this person can definitely be trusted, gotta trust them. And then you get upstairs, and right before the knock on the door is Johnny Depp. At this point, going through an elevator, going upstairs, going through security, goes and asks, who are we meeting? Like something that should have been asked about 5 minutes. She goes, oh, whatever his name is, the husband of the governor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, this is a guy who just let someone carry his daughter away.
Yeah.
Just, hey, what's going on? And just, like, minimal resistance. No resistance.
Yeah, like she could have literally been walking him into Christopher Walken's hotel room.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He keeps popping up. You have to assume he's going to be somewhere near.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not going to give Christopher Walken the slip here. It's very obvious.
Yeah, so they enter into the husband's room, starts explaining what's going on. Then all of a sudden this old white guy walks out of the
bathroom.
And what's going on here? And they explain. He's like, oh, man. Oh, it's got a gun.
Is that the right idea?
I don't know. Is it real? Oh, no. And then as they're having this discussion, who walks in the room, Dan?
Christopher Walken.
He walks in and has probably the moment that Dan had texted me before going, this one scene you're going to laugh out loud at. And I had two moments that had happened that neither of them were the ones he laughed at. But this was my first one where he walks in, Johnny Depp has that scared moment.
Yeah, it's like, oh, shit.
And the old white guy goes, oh, you're an expert, And he hands him the gun. He looks like he goes, oh, let me see. And he grabs a pillow. He walks over and he gets next to the assistant and just goes, boom, and pulls the trigger and he goes, and the way Christopher Walken delivers his line, he goes, that seems pretty real to me.
Only Christopher Walken could deliver that line that well.
Yeah, I wish I had a good Walken
to
do it. But it's just like, real to me, sort of thing. And then at that
he does
point,
it in that whisper kind of, yeah.
And at this point, that's when you find out the husband's in on it. Mm-hmm. He goes, Jesus.
Not in my room.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, oh, man.
And then apparently they start fighting, and Christopher Walken starts choking Johnny Depp. And apparently the old guy is like the mastermind, because he's just standing behind him going, enough, stop.
Well, he's the man.
Yeah.
Right? That's the man, quote
unquote.
We
find that out right after this, the scene right after this. But, you're on enough. And then they have a thing that I kind of love in these movies is the dream sequence.
But you don't know it's a dream sequence. Yes, the fake out.
Yeah. He pulls the gun as he's being choked, shoots Christopher Walken like twice.
Yeah.
Then shoots the old man. Then shoots the husband. Then the security guard walks in with a gun. He perfectly shoots him in the chest.
All of a sudden he's dead shot.
Yeah, going around killing everybody. And then he gets outside. He's running through the hallway out the door. And who pops up?
Christopher Walken.
Still alive.
Yeah, dead Christopher Walken shows up. But at first, Mark, I did think it was really happening. I was like, oh shit, that's quite the turn.
Yeah.
It's like now he's going to be on the run. But then as soon as I saw him just like picking guys off, no problem, I was like, oh, okay, obviously this is not happening.
Yeah, and then they did that thing. He gets thrown over the balcony, I guess, to die. But as he gets thrown off, the girl and his daughter go up an elevator as he's coming down. Daddy! And, oh man. So, and then it wakes up with him face down on a glass table.
Yeah, that's right.
As the Bond villains discuss their plan behind him. And that's where you find out that the old white guy had financed the governor's campaign. And that she hadn't been doing what she wanted, which is probably like she's been helping the poor. She hasn't been doing what we wanted.
Right.
Yeah, but so probably a little bit more racial undertones than that.
Yeah, keeping the wealthy wealthy.
Yeah, but in mid-90s LA, there's definitely some racial undertones to that.
Yeah.
What he's saying to the husband here. And I love the little bit of a misogynistic line that he drops at the end, where he goes, "I thought you were supposed to keep her in line."
Oh, yeah. Well, she can't be tamed.
Yeah, I was like, she's the governor.
Right.
Like,
right. You're just the husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, why did you think he could keep her in line?
Right. Yeah, it's not, that's not how it works.
But it's the old style of the husband controlling the wife.
Right.
Thing there. Another point in time. So at this point, they walk Johnny Depp out as he's cleaning blood off his nose.
Right. He's just gotten his ass kicked for the second time this movie.
And everybody they walk by seems to not have a problem with it.
Right.
There. So they go through, and I think at this point, I think this is when, I don't know if you have the plot up, but like I said, a lot of this middle stuff jumbles. I think this is the point, I don't know if it's here or a little later, is this the point where he goes and tries to get his kid out of the van?
Yes. So I believe, so he goes down, he goes to get his shoe shined again. And this is when he actually conveys the story to Charles S. Dutton's character.
Yeah, there's a moment in between there, I don't know if it's after or before this, but I do want to talk about he runs out to the van, sneaks up to the van with the gun in broad daylight with traffic honking the horns as though if they were in the van, they didn't hear all that honking going on.
Right.
So he sneaks up to the van and opens the door, and the daughter's laying there, and then the partner pops up.
Yep.
And she delivers probably one of the coolest, like, cold line read of the movie when she goes, "What do I have behind this cushion?"
Could be any kind of gun.
Is it a 37 that may go through this thing, and maybe it'll miss, maybe it won't.
Right? Yeah, she's saying.
Is it a 45 where it could go through, but if it hits metal, it'll break apart, and probably it'll miss her, but maybe the shrapnel still gets in there, or is it a 358 and it goes clear through the seat, the dashboard, and hits a pedestrian 3 blocks away before it even knows it hit anything.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Yeah.
You want to take the chance of what I'm packing back here? I was like, damn.
Yeah, cold as bluff.
Yeah.
And if you know movies, like the whole trope, you'd figure, like, all right, he goes away, and then you just see her, like, pointing the finger gun. Yeah. So I have no gun.
But you find out that she definitely
does have a gun.
I think it's a Magnum.
Yeah.
She ends up putting a silencer on it at the end of the movie. But yeah, that just the way she delivers that, and just that was somebody, like, it's one of those things I always say when we're thinking about script writing. That monologue is definitely one that when that guy wrote it, he was like, "This is going to be the coolest line."
This is it.
And that was definitely her side, script or whatever they call it, for side read, if I was auditioning for that part, that would be the monologue I would have that actress read.
Definitely.
Whoever I'm casting.
Yes.
Who knows in this movie? And everybody's just like, the producer kind of knows her and throw her in there.
I think those are probably the most lines she has at any given time in a scene. Because most of the time it's just like little bits and pieces. But that little monologue. Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It was well read. Yeah. I like the different variations of the guns.
Yeah. And explaining what they would do.
Right, and what the bullets will do in graphic detail. So that's good. But, I think...
And then he goes back in for the shoe shine.
I thought it was the other way around. Oh, no, I think you're right, because he goes back in, and he tells Charles S. Dutton's character to remember that van. Yeah. Because if whatever happens, you're gonna have to remember it. Yeah,
and they go through and do the whole thing.
Right.
And, so my favorite part of it is when he gets back in the chair, he goes... Oh, recognize the shoes. Oh man, what did you want change? Did you have a complaint?
He gives him a $20 bill.
Yeah.
Right? Did you think he'd be like, oh great, more money?
Well, he was happy with it. He was just, why is this guy back?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love his whole every line that that he says in this movie is just great. Mm-hmm. Because it's the most personality anybody shows in this movie.
Yeah.
And you get him. And so he goes through and he starts telling them about it. And then who pops up?
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken pops up.
This is I want to say 7th time, right?
7th or 8th time this has happened in this movie. So he, and this is when he pulls he's deaf card.
Yes.
Which
is actually well played by Depp.
Yeah.
That was smart thinking on his part.
And Dutton, hearing this, goes, all right, let me just see where this goes.
I'll play along.
Yeah, we'll play along. This guy says his daughter's in trouble. Let me just see.
Yeah.
And then I love when he taps somebody, goes, oh.
He plays.
Deaf as a door, or whatever.
Yeah, I forget exactly what he says. Yeah. So, I mean, Charles S. Dutton's character, Huey, he plays along to a T. He's deaf. And Christopher Walken's character just, like, spills the entire plot.
Yeah, he says it vaguely enough where I don't think Walken's character completely believed that he was deaf, but he's just like, you know what? I'm not going to say specifics.
It was quite a lot, though.
Yeah, it was a lot, but it wasn't like, killing... I don't know if he actually says killing the governor at any point.
Well, the next time you're going to see the governor is at this time, essentially.
Yeah, I don't think he actually spells out why he see the governor.
Right. He does everything but spell it out.
Yeah.
So
he gets... And then I think what convinces Huey is they put the daughter on the walkie-talkie.
That's right, yes. Yeah. So that makes it known that the daughter is in danger.
Yeah. And then at this point... begins the greatest hijinks of the movie. Because at this point, they go... I think he goes and gets a drink again. Mm-hmm. Because Huey tells him, drag the gorilla man, which is what he was calling Christopher Walken. Character, over to the bar. And then I will contact you. Yeah. So he goes over to the bar. He orders a Jack and Coke. And, Christopher Walken staring at him from far away, keeping an eye on him. Mm-hmm. Those two... yuppies have the conversation again. It may be slightly racist.
May or may not be.
May or not. Probably.
Right.
So he walks by them, orders his Jack and Coke, and then when it comes to him, the coaster has a note on it. Like, apparently Huey put this all together
very quickly.
In literally 5 minutes. Right. And she's like, here's your Jack and Coke. And he's like, what? Huh? And she taps the table going, God damn it, read.
Yeah, right. Oh, you moron.
And then it says, meet him in the bathroom, which is the part that I laughed out loud this next moment that I thought you were mentioning.
Mm-hmm. No, but this part is funny, yes. So
he goes to the bathroom, and the way he gets distracted to sort of get a little bit of a head start is he doesn't pay. And he says, that guy down there, that booster or contributor, whatever he calls Christopher Walken, he's got it for me. Mm-hmm. As he walks away. So Christopher Walken's character has to stop and pay. And gets him a chance. Right. So he enters into the bathroom and walks in, and Huey's there, and he turns around, and then there's just this guy standing there, and he's like, "Well, change into his clothes," and then they go and stand next to each other, and Huey drops a line that made me laugh out loud, and he just goes, "Well, stop being shy and get to it."
it's like a Three Stooges prank, just like changing into the butler's clothes or whatever.
Because everything in this movie sort of has a little bit of a tie back to something, and this tie back is knowing the shoes.
That's right, yes.
That's why he makes him change into it and change the shoes.
Right.
So that when he goes into the back with Huey, as Christopher Walken walks in, and the fake out guy is sitting on the toilet with his pants around his ankles, with the shoes on.
Yeah.
So he looks down and sees that and then goes out and...
Right.
Watches from afar. I don't know why he doesn't just sit in the bathroom.
And just wait for him.
He waits for him outside.
I guess it's because the janitor's there. Like the guy's mopping the floor. The janitor there. So would it be creepy?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so... And then we find out after he leaves, Christopher Walken, that the janitor's in on it.
Yeah.
And got there, knocks on the door, like, he's gone.
I just realized, so you have... There's like two different fractions. Or factions here. Where there's a bunch of people, like the whole security detail is in on killing the governor, and then the whole hotel staff is like in it to save
the governor.
So it's like a Civil War, like Captain America's Civil War thing going. Or like, whose side are you on? yeah, led by Huey. Right? Yeah, Huey is Captain America. Yeah, and Christopher Walken is Iron Man.
Yeah, so they go into the back, and one of my favorite short performances of this movie is the maid, because she goes there and explain, okay, we're going to get her up so, she knows that the governor takes a nap before all of her big speeches.
Right.
How she knows this, I don't know. But she knows that. And then the maid does one of the good things, like telegraphed it a little bit, but goes, I'm not getting you in the room. What are you talking about? I'm not in on any of this plot. Right. And she walks away, the key falls out. Which
doesn't make sense. Like, why would she not get in on it, right? What does she have to lose?
I don't know. It was supposed to be one of those, like, I'm not in on this.
Right.
Sort of whatever. And then she distracts the guard.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Depp walks out with a pillow and the card. I don't know why he has the pillow.
I don't know why he has the pillow.
We find out the tension. We find out why he has the pillow in fiction. Mm-hmm. If this was a real situation, I don't know why he would have grabbed that pillow as that guy.
Right.
Was he going to hide his face or something as he...
I just walk by with the pillow. Not conspicuous at all.
So he sneaks by just at the last moment, to which Huey sighs like everybody in the audience. Like, oh, So then he goes inside, and the governor is asleep, because apparently she lays at the foot of the bed with a rag over her eyes, and that's how she naps. More power to her. I don't know why this is. But
I got to admit, I would say I've done the whole, not like at the foot of the bed, but I've had it with the eye covering on.
Yeah,
it helps. I get it.
I'm just saying the way she's laid out is like with every movie. It's there just to set up the moment. Yeah. Like she could have easily been laying on the other end of the bed doing the same thing. But by laying at the foot of the bed, it allows that moment where Johnny Depp walks up with the gun and the pillow and makes it like, oh, is he just going to do it?
Right. But he's too much of a puss.
Just to do it, yeah. So he walks up and scares her by cocking the gun.
Right.
And then, freaks out and then tells her the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't believe you. He's like, well, if you don't believe me, try to cancel your speech. They're going to make you do the speech no matter what.
Right.
And then she screams as he runs out, and somehow the luckiest sneak roll ever, he runs out the right door that has nobody behind it.
Yep.
The guy that was guarding near that door ran the other way into the room so that he could get to the elevator.
It was perfect.
And get downstairs.
Yeah.
And this is the first time where I guess we see the governor is giving him the benefit of the doubt, because their one bodyguard goes, what happened? And she goes, I just had a bad dream.
Which makes no sense, right? Like, if you really don't believe him, like you say you did, you would just like, there was a guy with a gun here. Go get him, please.
Yeah.
My life is in danger.
Yeah. But she's supposed to be, maybe she had some suspicion.
Right.
And this is how they're showing that.
Right.
So she does that moment.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Because we in this scene, you said, oh shit, is he going to kill the governor? If you were Johnny Depp's character in real life, IRL, would you have done it? Would you have killed her?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'd like to think that I wouldn't kill someone, but your kid's on the line.
Yeah, so my one thing is, the reason why I would chicken out, obviously I'm not a murderer, and probably wouldn't be able to kill anyone anyway.
Right.
But the fact that I know that gun is not silenced.
Right. And
that pillow is not going to silence it.
Yeah.
I know there's a guard 25 feet outside. I don't know about the other one that's right at the door. That would kill me instantly.
Right.
But I do know that there is one 25 feet away that would hear this gun go off.
Or why not just smother her with the pillow?
Yeah.
Right? She's napping. She's in a prone position.
But I wonder if it's a clause in the contract that he has to unload the entire gun into the governor, as Christopher Walken's character says.
Can you imagine that? It's just like, well, you killed her, but you didn't shoot her, so you gotta kill your daughter.
Bang.
Either way, the daughter was going to die.
And so was Johnny Depp.
Yeah, they were both going to die. Yeah. So, obviously, because this is a fantasy world that he's taking place in, you can look for outs anyway. Yeah. But, I mean, there's no way everyone is in on it, like all the cops and all that. But I probably would have just taken the easy way out and killed the governor. And then I would have died from my troubles. But that's okay.
Yeah. Because there's no health bar in real life.
Exactly, yeah. Right. It's not 007 GoldenEye.
Yeah, you won't be able to regain health by just standing in a corner.
Right. Yeah, just waiting.
Yeah. So she so that all goes on. He sneaks back down. They get into the bathroom, and one of my favorite tension moments in this movie, they switch back, and Johnny Depp, Christopher Walken, the security guard comes up to Christopher Walken and I go, what the hell is he doing? Well, get him out of there. I don't care you're taking his shit.
Right.
Just get him out of there.
He's been in there for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so he goes in there and bangs on the door, and Johnny Depp's character walks out. But the whole time they're having a conversation, the bathroom door where the worker is slowly opening.
But he's opening it. He's allowing it to open.
No, he's trying to stop it.
I
But he
know.
doesn't want to make it noticeable that someone's there. So he doesn't want to, like, stop it,
Right.
you know. So what he does, what I got from the scene is he puts his hand up as far as his hand can reach. So when the door comes, it just hits his hand.
Okay.
He doesn't push it so and that's why they're showing the one security guard
Who's
is
looking
at it.
Yeah.
So
for some reason, I thought he was opening it slightly to see them.
No. He was trying to stop them.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Be revealed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but what I got from it was, at first I thought he was going to try and
close the door.
Right. But then when they kept cutting back and I saw that he just had his arms stretched out and he was just like hoping that they would A, leave.
Right.
Or B, the door would just hit him and wouldn't be noticeable.
Right. They would make no sound or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, unless if we're going to go to the canonical that all public bathroom doors don't lock, why he did not lock that door.
Right.
Unless if him and Johnny Depp were in the same toilet stall.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked. But I guess that doesn't...
That's probably what had to happen, but I didn't realize that. Saying it now, I'm thinking maybe they were in the same room.
Yeah, that would make sense. Right.
But then anyway, there's a whole lot of plot holes here, but it was such great tension. They kept cutting back to the door slowly opening. Yeah. Cutting back to the conversation. Door. Conversation. Door.
That was pretty good build up. I will give it that.
Yeah, and then they get out of there, and it's like, all right, one last chance. Governor's speech. We're going to go there. And it cuts back to the governor, and her husband comes in, and she's like, honey, got a headache, and I'm not going to do the speech. I'll cancel this one. We'll do the one in Sacramento. I'll be fine. And then he stops her from canceling.
Yep.
And this is when she realizes that everyone's in on it.
So she realizes, I think it's not like fully there.
Yeah.
It's like 90% there.
Yeah.
And then
she still can't believe it because it's her husband.
Right. And then she asks to send the secretary in. The assistant.
The assistant.
And the husband says, oh, I sent her on an errand. And that's when it like fully clicks.
Yeah.
Like, you sent my assistant on an errand? Yeah. She'll be gone for like the whole day.
It's like 99 at that point. I think the 1% clicks over at the end.
Yes.
So,
right. That's true. Good point.
Yeah. So they go through and she's going to do the speech and all that.
Right.
They cut back to Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken walking into the speech, and they're again metal detected by the inside guy.
Right.
And this is when Johnny Depp realizes that guy was an inside guy.
I don't think they really needed to have that scene again.
No.
But I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, so they get inside, and then one of the dumbest revelations occurs using the dumb cameraman that was at the bar. Mm-hmm. Is when he's standing there and he's like, goddamn walkie-talkies aren't working. And I thought that was going to be a thing where that's how he gets her out, is because they can't communicate. Yes. But it never really comes into play.
No.
The only way it comes into play is the girl in the van doesn't know what happened.
Right. See, now that's what I thought was going to, like, Johnny Depp realizes no matter what I do, they're going to kill because Christopher Walken can't communicate to his partner.
Yeah, they didn't put that through very well.
Right.
If that's what they were thinking.
Right.
Because if that's what he's thinking, at that point, I run out of the press conference and try and get to the van.
Yeah, because what is he going to do? He can't get in touch with his partner.
Yeah. So, husband does a shitty speech. Wife comes in, they get to the point, and Johnny Depp does maybe the smartest dumb thing ever. And apparently he's a sharpshooter.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know. So he pulls out the gun, points at the governor, and everybody goes, ah! And he turns around and shoots Christopher Walken's window from across the room.
It's a great shot.
Perfect shot.
It's a great shot. For someone who's never shot a gun before.
That we know of.
We
don't know how the wife died.
That's true. Double homicide.
Yeah. So he shoots that, and it sets off. Then he shoots the chandelier, I guess, to distract people.
That's
and this was the moment I found out. We found out earlier that the Asian couple that was video cameraing everything was also in on it.
Yeah.
We knew that earlier.
Yeah, it's so weird that because they're following Johnny Depp around. Well, duh.
Yeah.
I guess they're in on it.
Yeah. This is the final kick you in the balls. Sort of. These guys are in on it.
Right. It's like pretty much everyone in LA is in on it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Except for the governor and Johnny Depp.
Right.
And Huey.
You're right. And they got everyone except for the shoe shine guy. That's the only loophole
that they didn't get.
Yeah, they didn't tie up that loose end.
Who knew he wanted to get a shoe shine?
Right. There was the meeting, like, all right, we got everyone. Well, what about the shoe shine guy? He's partially deaf. We don't need him. Meanwhile,
it ends up being the thing.
Right.
So then the Christopher Walken, or I think is it Christopher Walken or is it the head of security? Somebody shoots towards her.
I think it's the head of security who shoots her, but the bodyguard
jumps in front of her. Yes. And tackles her, and that's when they call into the radio, someone's killed the governor, because they think they've shot her at this point. And the governor's down with the bodyguard on top of her, and Johnny Depp is escaping. Right. And somehow, roll back a little bit. For some reason, they show that fake Johnny Depp guy again, walking plates out. Did you notice that? Like, doing the rolling caterer thing? Yeah, he walks by the camera for no reason. Huh. Doesn't come back into play.
I didn't notice that.
But he walks by with the the catering thing at weddings where it has all the plates on it. Yep. And they roll it out. So he does that. And just walks by camera.
Yeah, and it serves no purpose.
I thought, is he going to block a view?
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's right.
But it never comes back. So I only rewound that because when he runs away, the first thing, all those trays get shot at as the head of security is trying to shoot Johnny Depp. Right. While this guy's not caring about the hotel staff at all. No. Good. So Johnny Depp goes running, and he gets out, and Christopher Walken tackles him, I believe, and then they start fighting.
They fight. Yeah, they fight on the stairwell. Yeah,
or the other way around. Johnny Depp tackles them, and they start having their little fight. The walkie-talkie goes in the water. Yep. And they start fighting. It cuts back, and this is where that 1% from the governor clicks in. Is when the husband comes down and is checking on her, and then she lifts her head up and is alive.
Yeah, because he gives it away, like, you should have just played by the rules, and you wouldn't. This wouldn't have happened.
And she was like that. Oh my God! Right, we really were in on it.
And then what was to stop him from just killing her there? I guess.
Well, he might have had a gun on him.
That's true. That's what I would have And
then that's when you found out that the personal bodyguard was also not in on it.
Yes, because he survives. Yeah, which is a surprise.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't get was, did she tell him? And that's why he wore the bulletproof vest?
Or did he just
always wear a bulletproof vest? Because they make a point to talk about it. Yeah. Because she goes, how you doing? And he goes, well, I wish bulletproof vests came with sleeves. Yeah. Because he got shot in the shoulder instead of the back.
Right.
And then I guess that's the end of that. And then it cuts back, it's one of those, that scene's over.
Right, yeah.
The governor's done.
She's fine.
She's alive. Yeah. Husband's gone. We're going to be arrested.
Will be arrested, yeah. Now back to Johnny Depp.
And they start fighting, and as they're before they cut to them, as they're fighting, you see Huey notices the van pulled up outside, and he goes out and gives I laughed so hard at this when he comes out like, hey man, you want your windshield washed? Oh man,
he does the whole squeegee, like the homeless squeegee guy. Like, I already started washing your windows.
Yeah, you're gonna love it after I'm done.
And again, just like every character has pinpoint precision on when they need to pop up. Yeah. Because the partner is getting ready to shoot the daughter. Yeah. And just as she's about to do it, Huey pops up. Yeah. It's like, man, were you just waiting this entire time until she was about to shoot the kid? Yeah. You could have been doing this for quite a while. Yeah.
And then the whole argument.
Oh, the argument's great.
He was like, yeah, I'm going to give me $1. Right. Give me $1.
I ain't giving you shit. It's like, this is how that argument would really go. That's exactly how it would go.
It's like those two have been in that situation before. Of being the person in the car being yelled at by someone doing this. Yeah. And then, Dan, what comes into play?
The wooden leg comes into play. Yes. But, so now what happens is, Huey's washing the window, right? And Christopher Walken shows up, I believe.
No. The leg thing happens before Walken shows up.
Oh, that's right, because she gets out and
she shoots him.
Right.
And then gets out, but...
shoots him in the leg.
And then you see the wooden leg.
The leg splinters off. Oh, man.
And then she goes out to kill him, and he's a veteran, so... he also delivered the line. He's like, I'm going to beat your ass or something. And then, leg gets shot off, and then they start wrestling, and then she's about to get to shoot him. And then what does he hit him with?
The wooden leg. With the wingtip.
With the wingtip with the wooden leg.
That's right. And he says there's nothing like a good wingtip. Yeah. That's a pretty good one-liner for a one-legged man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So he knocks her out at one point. I think that occurred. See, all this got jumbled because that was the only really interesting part to me, was the whole, the wooden leg fight. But I think at this point, this is when
Christopher Walken shows up.
Comes out to kill the daughter.
Right.
The daughter
somehow
does an action roll over the seat, and the gunshot misses, and then he goes to shoot her, and she's a little kid. First little kid decision in the movie. She goes to hide under the seat.
Under the seat, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not going to save her.
Yeah. So he goes to about to shoot him, and then I think it's the moment that you actually laughed.
Oh, this scene was so good.
So you can explain it because it caught your attention more than mine.
Oh, I loved it. So, yeah, Christopher Walken is getting ready to shoot the daughter, and they do the whole thing where you don't know who shoots first, but it's Johnny Depp shows up, shoots Christopher Walken, and Walken doesn't sell it at all. It basically looks like someone just like breathed on him. He gets shot and he just goes, "Oh." Like, no, that's not how you react when you get shot. You know, act a little bit. So yeah, he shoots him twice, doesn't react at all. He doesn't sell it. And he basically he gives a line where it's like he's proud of him for finally shooting the gun.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? Very good, Mr. Watson. Very good. We
made it to the end of the podcast before our first Walken impression.
Yeah, there we go. It wasn't bad. It was okay. I practiced it a little bit yesterday as I was doing laundry. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Watson? You're gonna shoot the governor. So yeah, that's pretty much how it ends. Yeah,
the wingtip thing happens after that because she wakes up, looks through the hole, to point the gun, and then he smacks her.
And then he smacks her in the head. So I guess she lives, right?
She gets arrested. Lives. And then the daughter runs, and Johnny Depp gives the least convincing hug.
Like, happy to see her.
His daughter at the end of this movie.
Like,
and then we cut to a news report where we find the slightly racist news reporter that we had met earlier in the bar explains everything that happened.
Pretty quickly.
He apparently found this out in 30 minutes.
Right. So now what happened?
That may go all the way up to the governor's husband. Yeah. How did they know that already?
Right. In normal life, it's a developing story.
Yeah.
So someone tried to kill the governor. Story's developing more after this.
Yeah, and then we see the old white man is watching the report. He gets up, he leaves, and then that is the end of the movie as he drives away.
Yeah, the man.
The man leaves. And it was just... When I saw this, I was like, oh, they were trying to make a political commentary that even though you stop the plot to kill the governor, the real villain is still out there.
Right.
Which is the rich white guy campaign contributor.
Right, yeah, the billionaire white dude.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still out there and pulling the strings.
Right. And yeah, he'll just get someone else to do it for him, essentially.
Nick of Time 2.
Nick of Time 2, yes, which will never happen because this movie made $8 million.
If you still have IMDb, see if there is a Nick of Time 2.
Oh, there can't be. I did see there was like a Nick of Time from 2011. Hold on, let me double check. Nick of Time. No, In the Nick of Time. No, that's it. That's the only Nick of Time. Thankfully.
Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't make enough money for there to be a straight-to-video Nick of Time 2 starring Billy Baldwin.
Billy Baldwin. Yeah, this movie was very silly, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken and Johnny Depp are just, like, there's not a lot of chemistry there, but they're good actors.
I was going to say, the only way to make this movie better, because outside of, like I always said, outside of throwing an entire script out and rewriting the premise of the movie, if we got to take and make it better, it's just find two actors that have better chemistry. Yeah. In terms of Depp and Walken.
Right. And I like the idea of it not being the governor, but being a witness to something that, you know, like maybe the governor's husband, or like maybe, all right, so the governor
had an affair.
Yeah, the governor had an affair, and there's a witness, and they need Depp to kill the witness.
Or kill the girl.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a little bit more intrigue, other than just like, oh, the governor isn't playing by the rules. Okay. So that to me, that was kind of boring. Yeah. I also would have changed the reveal of who Depp is killing. Yeah. I would have done it, like you said, backwards, where he opens the envelope, he sees just a woman. Okay.
And if we're doing the other change, it would have been something like he sees the photo of the woman, and then he's in front of a TV, and the TV news report would have been like, so-and-so has accused the governor
Right, like, Governor Easton is at the blah 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 hotel today, giving out a speech for her new campaign. Shit, it's her.
Or if it's the affair thing, it's sort of, this woman is in the news because the affair was not found out, but like sort of like a. For all you young kids out there, I don't know how much you'll get this reference, or maybe even some of us in the same room.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I might not even get this.
Very much a Jennifer Flowers, Bill Clinton situation,
yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, or even Paula, whatever her last name was.
Was that the girl who
Paula
disappeared
Jones.
for a little while?
Yeah, Paula Jones and Jennifer Flowers.
Yeah,
it's sort of like one of them got on the news saying they had an affair with the governor.
Right.
And that's who he has to kill, and that's how to reveal. But, yeah, so that's really it. Really change up the actors, get a little better chemistry. Mm-hmm. I think you can make this a passable movie in terms of quality.
Yeah.
And if you change up who the killer was, maybe you make it a better movie. Yeah. Not the killer, the victim. Yeah. You might make it a better movie. But, yeah, I think that's about it for what will change.
Yeah, I think that's it. This movie probably deserved what it made. It was a stinker for both Depp and Walken, but obviously they recovered.
It's the perfect movie for streaming.
Yeah, it was a good pick. I'm very happy. All right, Mark. So I'll plug my little shtick at Diaquino122, my Twitter, at Stranger Damies, Twitter and Instagram. So we just started our second campaign. Come follow along. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Mark, let us know where we can listen to it and when it drops.
So all episodes air every other Wednesday. Will be episodes of the campaign. In between weeks, will be little special content. This week will probably be an interview with one or two players, just talking about episode 1. And then we'll do other things where if there's a big plot twist or a big reference or reveal or something, maybe I'll just talk. What I would love to eventually get to is Twitter questions. Yeah. Or stuff like that. Do a little bit of a mailbag for those, just to get you guys involved with it. So that, just search Stranger Damies. That'll all be in there. We are streaming it now, so if you want to binge and watch with all the stops and starts, we're at twitch.tv/GameVaultPod. GameVaultPod, the Twitch channel we're on, we have a podcast that was birthed from. That airs every other Monday. So search the Game Vault Podcast, and we're on all socials at GameVaultPod. We also stream 4 nights a week, Wednesday, Thursdays, alternating Friday and Saturdays, Sunday, and Mondays as well. So be sure to check it all out. Having lots of fun. And go to themaindamie.com for all of our other content.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. And again, we are on Spreaker. So go to, I believe it's Spreaker.com, and just search They Called This a Movie. We'll be on there. We're on iTunes. Please give us a rate and a review. We would definitely appreciate that. It makes us more well-known. So if you enjoy what you hear, let us know. If you have any suggestions for movies, we take listener suggestions. We'd be more than happy to cover a movie for you. And also, I forgot to mention the Top 10 with Tia. We usually do a little bit of a plug for Tia. So just go to @TC_Stark. You could follow her there. And go to gvnation.com. She writes for Geek Vibes Nation and her podcast Top 10 with Tia. So please give her a follow. She's great. And you could also find us at gvnation.com. There's a lot of great shows on there. Kinda Nerdy Girls. There's some Nick's podcast. We talk about WandaVision. They're going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier on there. So a lot of good stuff is there. Just go to gnation.com. I think that's going to do it. So I am Dan Aquino for Mark Myers, telling the director of Nick of Time, John Badham, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you?